We are back here with KU. Oh, that's not KU, but the Golden Valley Views KU football podcast. And obviously, we talked during the bye week. This one isn't going to be too long because we have one thing to talk about, and that is this weekend's game. And we got ourselves Owens over here with a nice little background. And then we have, is that what's his face rising to heaven?
Frank Mason, baby.
Uh, I made like an ill timed joke, but either way, let's get right into it. What do you guys think about this weekend? Let's talk about KU versus the Oklahoma State. I've never Cowboys, right? Cowboys. So let's hear your opinions first, boys. This one should be a doozy. K State beat them. Can the Kansas Jayhawks make it 2 for teams? Kansas teams beating OK State. Thoughts?
Uh, I think we got a good shot, guys. I don't know. The closer we get to the game, the better I feel about this. They got steamrolled by K State last week, and so I think KU coming off a bye. Sounds like Spencer Sanders isn't playing for Oklahoma State. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
For me, it all depends on whether Spencer Sanders plays because Spencer Sanders, he is turnover prone, but man, is he a good quarterback. He just makes plays. So if he doesn't play, I really like our chances. But if he plays, dude, Oklahoma State is -2. If he plays, I think that's a lock. I don't know if we're going to win if he plays because I think they're going to be heated after getting their ass beat last week.
So, already, let's talk. I think watching this is going to be the first home game for me not being on the sideline. I mean, I could be on the sideline, but I'm not going to because I'm going to spend dad's weekend with Nikki's dad and her. But it'll be interesting to see the team from the stands for the first game as I knock my headphones out. My whole thing is the last few games we just play. We looked small, we played small, we didn't have the swagger, and that's what I've said the last 2 episodes or whatever episodes since Jalon Daniels has been out. That this team with Jalon healthy has Moxie. Nothing against Jason Bean. I think he did enough to persuade another Power Five school to give him an opportunity to be their starter next year. That Power Five school might be in the American Conference, might be in the Sun Belt, maybe it's a MAC. But Jalon Daniels, according to 24/7 Sports, is practicing ahead of the Oklahoma State game. And with that being said, if I had to put money right now, it'd only be $10. I would put it on the Kansas Jayhawks. And it all comes down to not even Jalon Daniels, to our defensive backs. Our secondary is what's going to make it break it for us. What is your make or break aspect of this game? I'll talk about mine last, but mine is defensive backs, aka the secondary. It can't be abysmal and it can't be taking plays off like it has the past few weeks.
One of the make it or break it things for me. I've been saying linebackers all year, but weirdly enough, I think it's gonna be wide receiver blocking on run plays. If our wide receivers can pick up a block on a screen play, on a run play, that turns some of these runs into from like a 5 yard carry to 25 plus. So I think those long run plays are going to be the make it or break it, and that those are set up by the wide receivers blocking downfield.
100%. And I just saw this tweet that said that Kobe Bryant and Jalon Daniels are practicing, but hey, you were talking about wide receiver blocking. I think it says Luke Grimm and Quentin Skinner were limited. So I don't know if that's going to be a thing to watch out. I'm sure it won't be as big of a deal, but yeah, I agree with Owens. Our wide receivers need to be able to block because we need to be able to establish the run and get big running plays because we're trying to be a run inside team because that's our game plan, and we just haven't been able to get anything working. And if we can control the clock and just keep pounding the ball, we have a good shot.
So yeah, I think it's a few things, and the Jayhawks slate had a couple good things that they asked Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator. One of them was, how do you approach improving the run defense during the bye week? And he said we gave up too many big runs the other day against Baylor. So obviously we got to make those kind of corrections, identify why and what can we do better, those kind of things. But we really use the bye week to shore up some of the basic things, get a little head start in Oklahoma State, and get a chance to look at some of our young guys, give them some opportunities that probably haven't been getting a lot of them lately. So I'm able to rest guys that play a lot of football, but at the same time, it's a good fundamental week, and hopefully they can come better out of it, is what he's saying. And they said the best part was, did you have time to identify some of those things to help? And he said Brian Borland said they did do some self-scouting. And you guys brought up all great thing, run blocking, the team just stopping run defense. And for me, secondary, not allowing the big plays, which we gave up. And obviously when you take into these little things, but this is a great quote right here. We did some of that work. I've said this a bunch of times. When we function well together, we got 11 guys really doing their job the way that it's supposed to get done. We're a pretty good defense. And our problem has been there's typically a slip up here or there that creates situations, negative situations. And we're trying to address those and stay away from them, prevent them from coming going forward. That is a great little expert. Why? Because we have had problems stopping the run early, and we've had problems just stopping big plays on big downs. And there's been multiple times where someone misses an assignment and it creates a big play. And it might be a linebacker, might be a secondary. It could even be on offense where we could have a 30-yard run, but like you said, a wide receiver misses the block. What do we need to do to beat Oklahoma State? What do you guys think? I think we need to be able to move the ball efficiently by running it. We need to get back to how we won the games of the first couple of games, the first 5 games of the season, running the ball, moving up the field efficiently.
I think we need to get back to the basics, just doing technical stuff right, making sure that we're not making silly penalties, stuff like that. We're not killing ourselves. And I saw a quote from Lance Leipold, or I believe it was Lance, saying that with the bye week, we were able to focus on those more technical things, kind of like stuff you would do in fall camp. Since they didn't have to worry about game planning last week, they're really able to focus in on that kind of stuff that will win you ball games, or at least keep you in them. And so I think this week they kind of got their game prep in, but they also were able to focus on that. So just those little things, play simple football, do your job, get it done.
Yeah, 100%. I think the bye week could not have come at a better time. This team was reeling. It just, the defense couldn't get anybody off the field on third down to save their lives for 3 straight weeks. And this was the time to assess that. Obviously, I'm sure they worked on it. I think that is going to be one of the keys to the game, especially if Spencer Sanders is not playing. If they have a backup in there, we have to get them off the field on third down. That's going to be key, because we can't keep giving up these long drives where even if they end up punting, they still get 40 yards and we're pinned back inside our own 10. We got to win the field position battle this week.
I feel like if they have a backup quarterback in, we're going to pressure, we're going to blitz, we're just going to get after it.
Yeah, and we have to do that.
Make quick decisions.
We have to do that to win the game.
I think it's making quick decisions and not fumbling. I feel like there's been so many games that we just fumbled away. Thoughts? I feel like there was multiple games if we just didn't, and it wasn't like crack block fumbles. No, it was just being irresponsible with the ball. I think anyone, including myself, I don't know if you guys play football, everyone did the drill where you run and you get fucked at the ball, but gets punched by your teammates and the coaches as you guys run down like that. Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm talking, and they punch the ball. That's what we did. And I remember if anybody got the ball punched up, everybody was running. Everybody was running. You don't fumble the ball. You protect the ball. That's part of the game.
Hold the ball to the sideline. We are always taught to carry the ball in the hand that's closest to the out-of-bounds line. So if it does get punched out, it's going out of bounds. Just little things like that. And with what Owens was talking about, working on just little fundamental aspects of the game, like third down defense and run blocking and holding onto the football and just being more efficient, is hopefully going to pay dividends.
Owens?
Yeah, just we had a little bit of time to clean some things up. We were able to really focus on just the easy parts of football. Or not easy, but the simple things. We're not focused on getting too crazy with it. Just do the simple things right, and we got a shot to win it. If I had to put a prediction on this, Hawks by 10 or more. That's just how I'm feeling. Vibes. The vibes are all the way up here right now.
I'd agree with you if Spencer Sanders doesn't play. If they got a backup in there, I agree. If he plays and if he's like somewhat healthy, then I don't know, man. I think Oklahoma State might pull out a close win if he plays.
I mean, if Spencer Sanders is 100%, yeah, that helps them. But if
I think it's 75.
Lower backups in, I'm riding Hawks double digits.
I still think they beat us by like a touchdown or less if he's like 75. If he's less than that, like significantly, then we could still win. But who knows? Maybe
What's the injury?
I can't remember. Was it like a shoulder or something?
It was a shoulder. Hawks by 1,000. But what I want to say is what, bitch? But what? Huh? Say it.
Oh, I just said I don't know.
Oh, all right. No, what I was going to say is we need to get back to us, because the thing is last week we put up 23 points, but the week before we were able to put 42 points up against Oklahoma. We were able to put 31 against TCU, and both of those games we started late, something I've said all season. Our worst game scoring-wise was against Iowa State, but we had the first 3 games. We can put up points, and obviously, after this season, we'll never be the worst football team in the Big 12 with Colorado, Gonzaga probably joining us.
Right shoulder, Ciro. I just looked it up. I was right.
Hawks by 1,000.
Yeah. Hawks.
Legitimately, I think if Jalon Daniels plays, I think the Hawks takes this game and it shock everybody. There's a lot going into it. It's a bowl. You know, every game we have a chance of making a fucking bowl game, and Jalon Daniels coming back, people will have Moxie, and I think the bye week will do us good. Plus, OK State's coming off of a loss. We're refreshed. And we're at home. It's dad's weekend for most people. Big game. I think we win this one. And the only way that my opinion changes is Jason Bean's a last-minute starter.
So are we all in on Jalon playing on
I
Saturday?
think I'm 100% sure he's playing.
Lance said it was to be determined. He said it's a game time decision, but that's coach speak. So
yeah, I think he's just saying that to make
that's coach speak.
Like, give him Vicodin, give him Toradol, give him whatever.
The reverse Nick Saban, Owens.
Okay, let's just fill him up with as much drugs. His pro career doesn't matter. What matters is this fucking game. Yeah. Nothing else matters. I don't care about if he fucking Joe Theismann's himself in this game. I'm fine with it as long as we get a win.
Stop it. Knock on wood. Don't even talk about that. That's bad vibes.
So I'm pretty sure
I'm kidding.
I'm
dark.
Bye week, and when you have a birthday, your health points go all the way back up to 100, so he's automatically healed.
Yeah, he's
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Yeah, he just still has his shoulder's still at like 94 or whatever because of he didn't heal it all the way because it's a nagging injury. But it's like a UFC training camp thing.
Yeah, I'm just feeling good with. It looks like Jalon Daniels is coming back.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant looks like he's doing all right. But are we getting into the Gonzaga stuff?
We are.
Gonzaga doesn't have a football team. So I still think it'll be hilarious if they come to the Big 12.
Yeah.
All right, so let me explain. So basically, what happened?
Jazz is just barking.
What do you call it? So basically, from what I've read, here's an article. Gonzaga is in early discussions about joining the Big 12. This is how we'll end today's episode. We're all in about us beating OK State. I just thought this would be fun to watch. Supposedly, if Gonzaga joins us, they want to become a Power 5 school because of the endowment, all the perks that become a Power 5 school. People don't realize how much money they're losing out on by being a West Coast Conference school. And this is kind of the best opportunity they could get. If there was ever a reason for them to create a football team, it would be to join the Big 12. And was it UConn who made a football team in like the mid 2000s, early 2000s? Who's like the most recent Power 5 football team?
USF, I know, made one in like the 90s or whatever.
San Francisco?
South Florida, when they were in the East.
So South Florida,
Yeah.
okay.
Before they're in the But
so South Florida, but they're not a Power 5, right?
They were at the time that they were in the Big East. At the time, they hadn't had a football program. Then they moved up to D1. Then they joined the Big East, and then they were really good. They were like ranked number 2 in the country in like 2007 at one point.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think the reason why is Gonzaga knows there's a market in the Northwest, and specifically in the Washington area. Nobody gives a fuck about Washington State like they do for the Huskies. Okay, and like in terms,
the Huskies are on the opposite side of the state too. So
that's all I'm saying. It's
yeah,
Gonzaga is Seattle, so Gonzaga could be like the flagship of Seattle and the surrounding area, not just for basketball but for football too, and start monopolizing that area. And the best way to do that is join this, because immediately there'll be a basketball team, and then this will also give another school for football. And then you entice teams like Utah, Colorado, Arizona, U of A. I'm on the idea we should just bring in Colorado State to just fuck.
Oh yeah, that would be funny as fuck.
But this is basically what they're saying. The source stressed there's no immediate timeline that the Big 12 is not the only league that has reached out to Gonzaga. The Pac-12 and the Big East have also spoken with Gonzaga. Okay, shut the fuck up. Why would Gonzaga join the Big East? That would be the stupidest shit. Let's call it the Big
basketball. It's basketball only. That's the point.
The source termed the talks real but early. It's all exploratory right now. Indications are that Gonzaga would want any move to be an all sports deal, not just for basketball. Backstory. You guys know Brett Yorkman declared the Big 12 open for business. And an interest expanding the Big 12's reach into all 4 time zones has factored its talks with Pac-12 members. As you guys know, see Cincinnati, BYU, Houston, and UCF are on the way here. We just signed a deal north of $2.2 billion, paying us about $31.1 million a year, with third-tier rights bringing it up to $50 million a year. Why do we want them, the Big 12? Because they're an amazing school for basketball. And at the end of the day, it would help recruiting. But if this move happens, there's a clause in the Big 12's media deal that for every team they add, the deal increases in value and the payouts higher. So the deal, I think, can go up like in value up to, I think, $5 billion if they keep adding schools. So it's in their best interest to add as many programs into their conference, because they have incentives for every college that they add. Any thoughts before we wrap up the episode on this?
Gonzaga is missing out on so much. If that's the case, Zero, they are missing out on so much by not having a football program.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the money is.
Yeah, they probably only make about $5 million, $10 million off of sports a year. We make about 80 to 100.
Because of football TV deals. That's why. Revenue sharing.
We get just from football 30, and then we get another 50 from apparel, and then we get another 40 from basketball.
Yeah, Gonzaga joining the Big 12 for basketball, huge. And then Big 12 getting that tournament money too out of them, because Gonzaga will still be a powerhouse. They still will be a top 15 team in the country. I don't care what everyone says, like, oh, once they come to a big conference, they're going to be losing double-digit games.
That's bullshit.
They're still going to be a powerhouse. They'll bring all that revenue up from the Northwest. But them making a football team, the cost to run it is so expensive.
That's why you have to get the rowing team.
Yes, you have to get the rowing team.
Yeah.
But people are talking about, like, KU should shut down football just because, like, went back.
Back in the day. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
When?
back in the
It was
day.
so bad that it was like,
When?
how are we making money out of football? Because
When
we
was
were
this?
Like the Weiss, Beatty, like that era.
We actually thought about cutting.
No, not seriously, because the Big 12 TV deals are still too valuable. But
yeah, it was fans just being like, we need to just cut football altogether. Like, but
Wouldn't it be in like honestly, it'd be in our best? Okay, wait. I want to Google this right now. We'll do it on this screen. Gonzaga. Wait, no, I want to search on Gonzaga. Newest Power 5.
they're missing out on so much, man, by not having a football program. I know it's expensive to run, but getting that Big 12.
Wichita State keeps having the debate of like, should we get a football school or have a football program? And then there's just like, it would cost way too much. Logistically, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know
But
the
get-
logistics up in Spokane with their stadiums, but
yeah.
it would be tough to get one started.
I want to see like fucking Christ, like which one would the Power 5 conferences, how I can see for football. Okay. I just want to see the like by school. All right, wait. FBS programs I establish.
I mean, a lot of the Power 5 schools had to have had football like for a long time. It's
Yeah.
they had football before conference.
First played. All right. The newest. Okay. So the youngest school is the Charlotte 49ers. They're in the Sun Belt or CUSA. So, but the newest FBS, like actual
James Madison, right?
James Matt. No, it'd be
Who else was it?
It'd be the Florida Bulls. They played in '97 and they joined. Wait.
Oh,
they
I'm
count-
talking about joining FBS.
Fuck. I'm trying to see. Yeah.
It's James Madison, right? Just sort it, Sierra.
I am.
James Madison started this year.
James Madison literally is
72.
there.
No,
James-
there's Coastal Carolina. Wait, fuck. You're
James
right,
Madison just joined the FBS this year.
Yeah, James Madison is okay. Yeah, James Madison is, and they started. Took them 50 years.
Yeah.
Took them 50 fucking years.
Whereas USF fucking took less than half of that.
I would say that North Dakota State will become an FBS team before Gonzaga gets a football team.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a fair take.
That is a good take.
That's a fair take. Dude, I
don't
think
feel like that's a hot take either.
here's another hot take. If Deion Sanders stays at Jackson State will be an FBS team before Gonzaga gets a football team. Because Gonzaga's not getting a football team.
One second.
Look at this guy.
All right. Any closing arguments before we go? Let's go Jayhawks, Rock Chalk, baby. Let's get Gonzaga, Arizona, U of A, Utah.
Bro, the Big 12, Hawks by double digits on Saturday.
We should call ourselves like the Big 24.
Whatever the fuck they're gonna call that, dude. Because the Big Ten decided that the Big Ten set the standard when they didn't change their fucking name when they had 14 teams. They set the standard by not changing their name.
But
so,
you know how the Big
But the
Ten
Pac-8 broke it.
but the Big Ten didn't though. The Pac-12 did because it was the Pac-10, and then they changed it.
It was also
and
the Pac-8.
The Big 12 did it once when it was the Big 8, and then it was the Big 12, and then they didn't change it back for some reason. And now we have 14.
For the Big 10 because the Big 10 already existed.
Yeah.
Just said, fuck, who's the real Big 10?
We should have said, fuck you guys. You have 14 teams. You can't be the Big 10.
Well, at that time, they had 12, so really we should have just switched titles.
Yeah, like you just switch teams.
But
All
yeah,
right,
since the Big
that-
10 calls themselves the Big, I think we should call ourselves the Bigger.
Yeah. Fuck the Big 10.
Or just be the
All right.
biggest.
They're not the SEC, though. It just means more, though. It just means more to
this
them.
episode up. Let's go. Jayhawks.
Rock
By
chalk,
10.
baby.
Rock chalk.
Watch out,
Spencer Sanders, it's a shoulder injury, so we got this.
We're going to win it. Peace,
Yeah.
boys.
Base.
See ya.